The reaction that both of these games got is almost unbelievable. For years, all people have ever said about these franchises is when is there going to be another Rayman game, and I wish Metal Gear Solid 4 wasn't locked to the PS3, and now you both got your wishes and you're still not happy? Now, while Rayman may not be a new game, it's still a Rayman focused game for the first time in over a decade. And all I'm hearing everybody complain about is the music. And with Metal Gear Solid Volume 2, all I hear is why doesn't it have Rising in it? Why doesn't it have Portable Ops in it? Portable Ops? Seriously? Anybody asking for Portable Ops has honestly not played it, and it shows. It's slow, clunky, and honestly boring. And even Kojima considers it non-canon, a side story. It would honestly need a full-on remake, and it's just not worth it. Big Boss gets the idea of a soldier's paradise from Gene, and that's it. And that alone further lessens Big Boss's legend because it shows he didn't get the idea on his own. Perhaps that's the point, but overall it's just way too fan-servicey with characters who shouldn't even be there in the first place. I even saw some people ask where Acid and Twin Snakes were. Everybody has routinely criticised the Twin Snakes for years, and now everybody is crying a foul that it's been forgotten. Sorry, but we're not getting Matrix Flip Snake back. Ghost Babble is a nice add-on, to be honest. A little odd, but still nice. And honestly, I'm seeing Rising having licensing issues limiting the ability to be ported in the first place, and that's partly why a sequel never happened. And yes, the collection may seem a bit small with only 2 major games, whereas the last one had 3, but Metal Gear Solid 4 is such an impressive spectacle that they could release it on its own and it would stand up well. It really needs to be seen to be believed. It has such amazing gameplay but hardly any of it, and Peace Walker is a huge game with so many side objectives and it's so much more involved and expansive than the games that came before it that there's plenty to do. The next one would be Metal Gear Solid 5 I suppose, but having it be complete package is wishful thinking. We all knew a second collection was coming, they can't just call it Volume 1 and then leave it at that. Now, am I buying either of these? No. You could call me a hypocrite, and as we all know that's the worst part, but I just don't have as much free time as I used to, and I already have enough to get through. I only just got around to platinuming 4 and Peace Walker 2 years ago, and I really don't feel like doing it again. I have easy access to my PS3, and I already own 2 copies of Peace Walker, and with Rayman I already own a few versions of it. And yes, I was disappointed with that music because of how iconic and memorable it was. And yes, it's not simply just changing the music, it's that some of it is downright terrible. But do you know what I'm not going to do? I'm not going to review bomb Metacritic and cause this game to look like a failure in the eyes of Ubisoft and potentially not do a Rayman 2 and 3 collection, or maybe a 4 in the future. Yeah, a collection of 5 versions of basically the same game may seem a little odd, but the game is so much fun and each one has its own little quirks and differences that it's more than enough to sink your teeth into, for an absolute steal of a price as well. It's nice that Rayman got anything at all if I'm honest. Just buy the game on PC and mod the music back in. Sonic Origins had similar issues but it was on less stages, but when that happened, I just muted the TV and played the music on YouTube. Easy. I had so many titles for this video and even as I'm recording it I don't know what I'm going to go with. Stop complaining, be grateful, fans never happy. But all I can say is honestly, just be happy and take the W. Not say be a bootlicker, criticise as you see fit, but pick your battles. You wanted a new Rayman game, you got a collection of old hard to find games, take the W. You wanted Metal Gear Solid 4 on modern hardware and not locked to the PS3, well you got it, take it. This is probably going on deaf ears because this is the internet, but there's always moving the goalpost, but just be happy you won. If you want to complain about anything, complain that it took Nintendo, Game Freak, whoever, nearly 10 years to put a mainline Pokemon game on Switch that is also not even part of the subscription, and also 10 years after Red, Blue and Yellow were on the 3DS that you most likely can't even buy anymore. Same with Gen 2 that came out the same year the Switch did. I understand the business model of staggered releases, but 10 years? The best thing about all this is that I learned Rayman Redemption was a thing. I've been playing that recently and having a blast. Thanks for watching.
Yeah!